Hey everybody! Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. It's Quilt Nerd time. We're still out of town. We're in Iowa. And you know what, Iowa? It's looking good on you. On me, I don't know. I've decided that I love my haircut, but the bangs are a little long. Okay? The bangs are a little long, and so I sweat. I don't know.
Mary, don't do this to me with the bangs. You know, I was getting ready to get bangs,
Listen.
and now you're like, I don't know about the bangs, and
Look, Stephanie Cake, everybody. You know, the show ain't the show without cake. And you want to get bangs. I mean, are people getting bangs? Is it a thing? Because I was just like, I'm tired of stuff. I need like some pep. I'm gonna get my hair cut. Are bangs in?
I honestly don't know if they're in, but I've always thought that they were kind of cute on me. And I when you got your hair cut, I was like, oh my god, so cute.
Yeah,
maybe
bangs.
I'll do bangs.
Yeah.
But you know, it's always that thing where people show me pictures of themselves and they're like, yeah, this is when I did bangs, and I immediately regretted it.
Yeah, you feel like this.
And now you're saying, oh, these bangs. Oh.
The thing is I love the bangs. They just, I don't know. It's like you can't go. And in the UK, you know, they call it a fringe. But like you can't go too short, because then you look like, well, I don't know, a child that had a bad haircut. But then but too long and they're in my eyes and they get greasy, you know. I'm a delicate flower. I'm very moist. Whoa. Anyway, my point is the hair. Welcome to Quilt Nerd. If you're new here, if you have never seen the show, I'm so glad that you're around. And there was this article in Craft Industry Alliance, and it came out, and then the show on Saturday night was so crazy and it was so fun. We had a surprise guest. I mean, sometimes like I feel like the surprise guest concept is usually not a surprise to the hosts of the show. like, oh my God, you know, usually it's like, well, audience, we have a surprise guest. But our dear friend Randall like showed up because I was like, you should come over, and she did, and it was so much fun. And so if you tuned in last week, that was like a great, like, different show. And this week is a little bit different because I'm on the road, I'm in Iowa, and everything's kind of ad hoc. Is that the right word? I don't know. Everything's kind of a crack up. I fixed the lights a little bit better. But next week I'll be back in Chicago. And by the way, we do a giveaway at the end of each month to a subscriber. And we give away a dusty book, which is very relevant tonight. Very relevant. Because tonight is another dusty book show, but we use a lot of books on this show. One of the things that Quilt Nerd is it's so fun to do this because there are, and certainly there were, well, there are many great books about quilts, not just how-to books, but books about like quilt history and like, I don't know, the Century of Progress exhibition in Chicago at the Chicago World's Fair. Like, there's just such great quilt history and quilt like culture books out there. They don't publish as many of them as they used to, but the ones that are out there are really great, and we hope that more books will come out soon, and we should write them, and I'm working on it, and I'm sure some of you are as well. But what's cool about Quilt Nerd is we get to go back and dip into these books and look at all the treasures within, and so we do a giveaway at the end of each month, and we give away a book. I have many of them. I have duplicates of many of them, and so we give away a book. And if you have won a book, if your name has been drawn, and you haven't sent your address to quiltnerdshow@gmail.com, there are a few of you out there. There's a few books that are still sitting in the office. I gotta get those addresses, otherwise you will forfeit your prize. I don't want to forfeit your prize, but send your address, because otherwise I can't get it to you. And so tonight would really be the giveaway night when we would draw, but since I'm on the road and I need to know what I've got at home in the office to give away, we're gonna do the drawing for August on Saturday night when I'm back in the home team base court. You know, the home team base court. You know.
That's what I do. I invented Post-its.
That's right. So, Steph, please.
I was just going to say stadium, but I like home team court base better, or base court.
Home team base court field. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know. Wow. The way this thing is my nose looks so large. Okay. So anyway, lighting's hard. I think of all the things I've had to learn about tech, lighting eludes me. So I mentioned it's a dusty book show, or that the show is really appropriate for a dusty book giveaway. And by dusty book, I just mean they're out of print, right? They're used, they're out of print, and they're wonderful. And we talk about books on this show a lot. Not always. We're going to watch a video tonight. We're actually going to watch a couple videos having to do with one of the books we're going to talk about. This Cathedral Window book from Matt Patchwork Place. Cathedral Window, A Fresh Look by Nancy J. Martin in 1991. We're gonna watch a video about Cathedral Window quilts. Couple of them actually. We're gonna sample one or watch one. And so we do contemporary stuff, and we look at art and all kinds of wonderful stuff. But it is true that these books hold treasures of the cultural erudite quilt erudition kind. I don't know. And so we look at them, and we have an Abe Books affiliate relationship. So I signed up to be an Abe Books affiliate, which means that if you want to buy one of these books, and then use our affiliate link, and all the books we're going to talk about on the show tonight, and all the books we ever talk about, there's an affiliate link. And let me tell you something, it actually matters. And I will tell you, and I'm not trying to throw shade, God help me, it's the internet, it's on the internet forever. We're doing deep cuts tonight. I don't know if people are gonna run for these, but the thing is, okay, I'm at the Iowa Quilt Museum. I'm at the Quilt Folk Foundry headquarters, actually, doing work here for Quilt Folk. And it's the space above the Iowa Quilt Museum in my hometown of Winterset, Iowa. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. I'm a very fortunate person. I've never lost sight of it, even in my darkest days. Wait a minute. That's what I say to the darkest days. Okay. Even though, we all go through our stuff, I'm a very grateful person, and I'm from this place, and it's cool. And at the Iowa Quilt Museum, they have a big giveaway spread. Because people, they're done with their books and they give them to the museum, or they get donations of books. And there's so many. And so I put a $15 donation in the box, and even though I'm not keeping all of these books, I went down there last week and again today because I was like, let's do another book dive into these often obscure, definitely small batch quilt books that were created not in this century, actually. I mean, maybe something was 2008, maybe. But most of them were made, between like 1980 and 2000, these books. And so I'm looking through book after book after book, and I'm finding certain things, right? Certain gems to show you. And I love that. That's like, I can't believe I get to do that, because that just sounds fun to me. So we're going to look at some content from these old books that's really worth it. The quilt behind me, for example, the quilt changes every time. Let's see, are people are having lags? Are there some lags? Yeah? Okay. If you refresh your browser, hey, Nose to Quilts. Steph, is it real bad? Yeah? We could do a thing.
Yeah, well, what I would recommend for everybody, because I do get a little bit of lags when you're when you're streaming from the museum.
Yeah.
So first of all, sometimes you just have to refresh, unfortunately. The other thing that Robin and I have found will help is if you're on a computer, you can hover over the video and there's a little wheel, and you can choose in the settings, you can choose the video quality and you can bump it down or choose auto. Auto, your system is supposed to figure it out. It may not. So then you can just bump it down to the very lowest.
Okay.
So that might help. Because I think what it is, it's the video that is challenging for the Wi-Fi.
Got it.
I think everybody is saying sound is okay. So yeah, that just happens for me. And every now and then you have to like just give it a little jiggle and refresh.
Okay. All right. I really appreciate that. So people out there, that little gear, you're saying that little gear icon. Yeah.
And if you're on a computer, to get that to pop up, you have to hover over the screen. If you're on a device, it could be anywhere depending on your device, but you want to look for something that's like a little gear, and it'll say quality. Okay,
that's really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Gosh, that is one thing that's hard, streaming on the road. At the office, it's like the best, internet. Thanks for being patient with that. I know it can be frustrating for sure. So thanks for those tips. And if you have any other ones, Kate, just pipe in. Yeah.
Well, the best part for me is when it freezes and you're making a crazy face. Yeah. I screenshot those. So anybody else, like, be sure that you get the screenshot before you refresh.
Please do.
Obviously.
And listen, I'm telling you, if this is wide open, if someone out there can figure out how to slightly shift a bad screenshot or a bad frozen screen to be, look, you can have filters that make you look like a supermodel or Ken doll or whatever. I've been on the internet for a while, and like all of the, like I did that on purpose, like it's horrible, and it's forever.
All of my thumbnails ever are that.
It's terrible. But what's really great? God. There's a quote. It's an old quote. I heard it was written. It was spoken by somebody, a writer, a long time ago, and it said, "Humor is the glory of the oppressed," or something like that. Basically, it's like, no matter how great you are, no matter how fancy you are, no matter how famous you are, like Margot Robbie or whatever, even we can laugh at her. We can even laugh at her and her like weird look, right? When she's frozen in a screenshot, and it's beautiful. It's anyway. Yes, everyone looks bad in a dropped frame, and it's okay. Then we can laugh at them, and it's beautiful. Okay, so hopefully things will kind of smooth out a little bit, and I want to thank everybody for being here. And I did see that Hope, you've been subscribed for 11 months with Prime. I so appreciate you. Thank you so very, very much. You get one of these. And Joyce, you subscribed at tier 2. You've been subscribed for 11 months also. Next month is your year anniversary of being a Quilt Nerd subscriber. I see Elle Riggs and Dee Marie and Jill is here and Slim is here and J Dot's here and Babe's here. Babe. And I also saw so many people that I'd love to see, and Randall and Sibby Mack, you've been subscribed for 23 months. Thank you so much. You have a year anniversary. An anniversary in 1 month for 2 years of subscribing to the show. girl. Whoa, that's if you have 2 ears, you get 2 of those. Gamers here. So, we've got a great show tonight. I'm going to start out with something really special, all right? I'm going to start out with an update on the Harriet Choice quilt that Leah Zeber, the amazing Leah Zeber, Finn McCool, right? Finn McCool. Is that right? Yeah, Finn McCool. She's a viewer of this show. She made like one of the coolest posts about this show on her social media. Just that it was awesome and that she loved it. And Leah Zeber's a really prominent collector, dealer. She runs a retreat. I mean, like, she's legit, to say the least. And
she's written historical fiction that I believe features quilts. So, she's legit.
Yeah, there's that too. And what else was I going to say? When she curates exhibits, one of her efforts was at AQSG seminar last year. Amazing person. I met her when we did a story on her for Quilt Folk. But I got to tell you, Leah, I mean, I thought you were cool. I was like editor of the magazine. I was like, let's put her in the magazine. But I didn't even totally get it. I'm not flattering you. I'm not gassing you up. I'm saying it's awesome what you do, and we appreciate it. And so Leah watches the show, and let me just, 1%, eh? Hang on, I gotta charge this thing.
And before we...
Please entertain the people.
The full-blown Leah info that you're gonna share, because I know what it is, and it's so freaking awesome. It's so cool. You gotta do the chip report, Mary.
Oh my God, the chip report. Yes, the chip report. And also, Cake,
that was the last thing I said before Mary started the stream, and we both immediately forgot.
Yes, exactly. But I did pull out the chips. I will do the chip report. And Cake, will you put Leah's website in the chat?
I will.
I think it's Leah Zeber Quilts, I think. Sorry, hang on. Oh, go in your home. What is wrong with you? Just a minute. Plug in the thing. Okay, there we go. All right. That's like one of my favorites. One of my favorite sounds. Oh, Cake. All right, you fell down. All right, let's do the chip report. There's a thing we do. We have chips. We have wine on the show. It's what it is. And tonight, we have a new kind of chip. And Eva, our good friend and Quilt Nerd supporter, she consistently, lovely Eva asks consistently, like, what chip am I eating? And I love that question. Of all the questions you can get, like, hey, what kind of chips are you enjoying? Like, I'm always ready and able and thrilled to answer it. So we have decided that the chip report is the Eva chip report, and it's got to happen every show. And we even have a sound cue. And this is that sound cue. It's not too much. It's not too much. It's definitely not too much. God, I look like I'm in. Okay, yes, and Quilt Nerds of America. The Eva Little Chip Report is brought to you. The Little Eva Chip Report is brought to you by Eva, and I have got kettle cooked buffalo. It's terrible. Buffalo and blue cheese chips. Listen. Let me tell you something, Eva. I got these. Oh yeah. Okay, buffalo and blue cheese. Oh, I just hate that there's skipping. Okay. Nosda, it's so good to see you. I got these because of you, Eva, and because the chip report is now an official part of the show. I was like, well, yeah, salt and vinegar, okay, sure, but buffalo and blue cheese, well, now that is a chip report. So let's have some. And I have a little Cabernet, which is great. And now, let's look at this quilt that we're talking about. Now, if you haven't seen the episode on this quilt, it was a couple weeks ago. Steph, do you know? I mean, it was a few Saturdays ago, right? I forget when. Well, no. Wait, hold on. I've got my Quilt Nerd content plan folder.
Yeah, it was a couple of Saturdays ago.
Yep. It,
Maybe.
yes, yep, it
Yeah.
was. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see here. Orphan block, video, da 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 da. Oh, you know what? I don't, hold on. Yeah, I don't know. It was a couple Saturdays ago. It wasn't long ago. I think, oh yeah, I know what I did. It's back at home. Anyway, but it's just a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And the story, very briefly, is that I met a woman. I met this woman. Her name was Harriet Choice, and she was a jazz music critic in Chicago. And I met her. Hold on. I met her when she was elderly. Harriet passed away a couple months ago. And the one time that I met her, we had a really great conversation about quilts. And I remembered it, and it was very valuable to me. And it was so valuable to me and impactful to me that I wrote her a note, and I said, I'd love to spend time with you or talk about quilts more with you. We didn't hang out. The pandemic happened. I know she had a lot of health problems, so we never got back together. This is her with her husband, and this very adorable picture of them dancing, presumably in a jazz club somewhere in the world. And Harriet, yeah, this is just one. I didn't have this before during the show. It's just great. Chicago Tribune, 1963. Her review of some jazz. Oh, is that Miles Davis? Yes, it is Miles Davis. Okay, well, she's like Miles Davis, a new talent who's really good. So Harriet basically left me a quilt. Okay, she had a quilt in her house, and she let the quilt was offered to me. Okay, through the people who are working on all of her things to get her things to where they need to go, and this is that quilt. And it's an extraordinary thing to get something like that and to have a conversation like that with somebody that would, result in a gift of this kind. And it's a very big deal. And I hung it on my wall. And in fact, those are candles that were from Harriet's apartment. I have just 5 of them. So I'm going to really be judicious with them and burn them on a special occasion. Now, on the day that this happened, we spent the whole episode on that quilt, trying to understand it, trying to discern what was going on with this quilt. There's so many incredible aspects to this crazy quilt. Symbols, symbology, wonderful text, incredible text. What is the origin of the week? Signs of the times. There's this, I did a close-up of this, a sick world. Is there a cure? Yes. Just endlessly fascinating. Twilight or dawn. Oh yeah. And then the portal. I'm gonna turn this around. Hold on. Rotate canvas. Here. Oh, sorry. Image, rotate canvas again. Is that gonna do it? Yeah. The portal. Steam printing press in 1803. So these are the signs of the times that the quilt is talking about. Just, I'd never seen anything like it. We had all kinds of ideas about what it might be. Was this, pardon me, there was religious stuff, but it didn't seem, evangelical Christian. We just didn't know. And there was, excuse me, I have really bad hay fever right now. It's been a struggle. Wonderful discussion on the Discord. It's one of the perks if you subscribe to the show, is you get access to the Discord, which is like the show when the show isn't on. But all of the speculation was fabulous and fascinating. And then I got information about this quilt from our friend Leah. And let me just share with you what she had to say. And she sent it not too long after the show, and I don't know if you're in the at the show tonight, but oh, thank you, Dee Marie, August 15th. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. Thank you for getting that date. It's definitely worth checking out. And by the way, whenever you watch a video on anything where you can hit like or subscribe or any of that, it's amazing how important that really is. So please hit those things if you watch videos on my channel. Okay, here we go. This is what we have learned about this quilt. I'm just going to read her email, okay? Which I got permission to do. Okay. Hi, Mary. With regard to your new quilt, I wasn't able to attend the show Tuesday, but I watched it after the show you did today. I mean, are you all ready for this? The many scriptural and Seventh-day Adventist, some of you said that, SDA, she's Seventh-day Adventist, or SDA, references on this quilt. There are many. Plus the couple of religious magazine or newspaper references means it's clearly religious, okay? Just from looking at your photos, I believe there are multiple hands across the quilt, indicating that a diverse group worked on the quilt. In my opinion, it looks like the workmanship of many children. Someone said that. Someone said maybe a class project or something. Y'all are so smart. I just can't even with you all. God bless you. Oof. It looks like the workmanship of many children. And Leah says, I say that due to the different hands, workmanship, and obvious lack of refined sewing skills. Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, I can't. Okay. And since the dates are 1934 and 1935, now, by the way, I didn't load up all of the images that was a whole show's worth of images, right? So if you want to see more of the quilt, you're going to have to go back and watch that because this is just an update for you. So yeah, look at this. Please be still. I can't. Anyway, what Leah's referring to is there's a date. There is a specific sort of really prominent date of 1934 and 1935. And so she says, since the dates are 34 and 35, it may be a project that a Sabbath school class did over the course of a year. Mrs. Walker is the titled adult, Mrs., and perhaps the Sabbath school teacher. The other names are likely students. It appears that the kids are learning to stitch. My God, I love you so much. And are asked to put something significant on the cloth throughout the year. Now, these are my guesses, so not the gospel. And then she's like, blah, ha, 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 sorry, that's funny. Yeah. One interesting note, okay? She says, look up the shepherd's rod on Wikipedia. The shepherd's rod. And within the text, search 1934. You will see the links between the SDA, Seventh-day Adventist, and the Branch Davidians. And she says, remember Waco? In 1934 was an important year for the Branch Davidians. I know. And since they're a spinoff of SDA, it would be cool to see if anything on the quilt links to them, like in the future. Very, 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 very interesting, right? Very interesting. I mean, and this context is amazing. Amazing. And all of those things, like, it just add to the layers of complexity and fascination on this quilt. There are words, you can't see this, but it says home and health, which is beautiful to have in the home. And Harriet, this quilt was hanging on her wall in her entryway for a very long time. You can tell, but I just happen to know. And words like bewildered, are just in this quilt. And I too am just bewildered all the time. So it's so interesting that all of these pieces sort of mean more now, even more. And she says, this is just my 2 cents. Good luck with your project. What a wonderful gift. Okay. And she says also, the odd shape you called a fan, was actually a meteor with 2 stars. Now, wait a minute. I think is that the fan we were talking about, Cake? There were several. Yeah.
I think that when I read her email, that's what I remember you saying looked like a fan. Yeah.
And there's another one too. So she says, the odd shape you call a fan was actually a meteor with 2 stars. There was a giant bright ball of light in the sky in January of 1934. And there's a link about that. Quintuplets have the floor. Do you remember that? That is an amazing, amazing piece of this quilt. It says quintuplets have the floor. And she says, the Dion quintuplets in 1934 was big news. Somebody, was it Kathy? Was like, there were quintuplets in 1934. It was a big deal. Somebody said it. Yeah. The World Outlook magazine from 1934. Oh, maybe had an article about it. Herald was a name for many magazines, like Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and publications like yearbooks. The Pentecostal Herald was available in 1934. There are Psalms, from the Bible. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. A sick world, is there a cure? Please be still. And so, I mean, there's a lot here, and it's so incredible that she shares it. And so, what I'd love to do is, Kate, could you just like copy and paste the whole thing into Discord? Would that, because now that we're good, and I might have told you. Like,
Actually, yeah, I did
okay,
it the other day.
good. No,
Yeah,
I'm so
I
glad.
did,
I'm
yeah.
so glad. That's exactly right. And I may have told you
Yeah,
to
so
do
what
it
I would
already.
say is,
Yeah.
if you haven't had a chance to look at this in detail,
Yeah.
or maybe you didn't see that episode, or you haven't seen the video on demand, definitely check the Discord, because I posted all the pictures that Mary used that night, and then also posted in Leah's letter. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. I cannot do any of this without you and Robin and Susanna, and I just really thank you for that. And yeah, it's a great reason to be a subscriber, because like, I mean, there's so much. Leah, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's great. The community of people who tune into this thing, it's like, that's the value of it all. So, okay. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at some books, right? I'm going to be home. I'm going to be there on Thursday. It's very exciting. All dressed chips. Saucy. I mean, one day we're all going to eat chips together, and I mean that. I do. One day there's going to be a Quilt Nerd event. It'll be great. Chips will be served. Okay. So one of the things that I thought was interesting, I was going through all these books downstairs, looking for interesting content for you. And let me tell you, I mean, I think I'm a pretty good editor. I do. Because I find things that excite me and make me happy. And, I really, I think hard about what might do that for you. And so this book, Cathedral Window, A Fresh Look, by Nancy Martin. And Nancy Martin, that's a big name. She's done so much, right? I mean, I'm thinking of Nancy Martin, and that seems like a name that. Hey, Polly. Polly says, that sounds like fun to all eat chips together. Oh my God. I love that so much. I love it so much.
Stassi actually talked about a chip eating party where they tasted all the different flavors. Lay's has those weird flavors.
Yes, well, that's happening. I mean, we have to make that happen. By the way, I just heard in Canada they have something called ketchup chips, and apparently people really like them. It's like a whole thing. Oh, wow. Okay, wow, okay. Yeah. So, well, that's great. And Polly, just by the way, I'm going to take a screenshot of that, because Drink Wine and So Lynn gets the credit for the best quote ever, or the best like chat ever. I love all the chats, but she said, I want to talk about everything all the time. We're like, I love talking about everything all the time. It was great. But Polly, that's pretty good. That sounds like fun to all eat chips together. Okay. Anyway, so Cathedral Window, I'll be honest, last week I thought, you know what, let's do a whole segment on Cathedral Window quilts. And I started to get it together, and you know what? I didn't think it was interesting enough. I didn't. Maybe there will be something, but I was like, I'm not going to spend a half an hour on Cathedral Window quilts right now, because I didn't have the material. So, we're not going to spend a half an hour on them, but we are going to look at a couple, and then I'm going to show you this. I found this YouTuber who's amazing, and I'm going to play a little bit of her video for you. And another, like a 3-minute video about making cathedral window units. Yeah, because this is interesting stuff. And here's what I'm going to tell you. So this is a quilt that was featured in this Cathedral Window, A Fresh Look book. And it was made by Vivian Doty in 1988. It's 28 by 33 inches. Cathedral Window wall hanging. And you know what? I kind of like it. I mean, I do. I like it. I think that the color is engaging. The magenta and that sort of, I don't know, like s'mores brown. Really is. I nailed it, did I not? That's smart. That is a chocolate graham cracker brown, damn it.
It does. It's got a very like pastry sweet shop look to it.
It does. Yes, exactly. Like Oreo left in the sun, you know. And then wow, it's paisley, okay, kind of a chintzy. I don't know. I think she did a fine job. And when I saw this and I was looking through these cathedral window books, I thought, you know, the cathedral window does offer a heck of a lot of options in terms of design and placement, because you basically have a background and a foreground. You literally have a background and a foreground. And in terms of like patchwork and placement, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this thing. And so there's a second book. And it is Cathedral Window Quilts by Lynn Edwards. We do have a link. I don't know that I have a picture of this book queued up, but I'll just read you just briefly. That Lynn Edwards in her book says, cathedral window is a traditional patchwork technique, usually interpreted in old quilts as rows of folded squares in cream calico with a random arrangement of patterned fabric squares and windows. It uses about 4 times its area in the folded square. We're going to see that. So it is very greedy of fabric and makes a heavy quilt. Yeah, I remember trying to take a style shot of a cathedral window quilt for Quilt Folk. Oh my Lord. I was like, I'm not up to it, you know?
Yeah, I actually have one, and I think I've had it. I'm pretty sure I've had it on my stream in my background, and it does. It weighs an absolute ton, and it's really cool. But it's like, I mean, I would hate to be the people trying to hold it up to get a picture. Like, it's one of those things you just can't like hold it with your arms.
And sleeping under it, like, I don't know. It's an interesting cat, you know, the whole cathedral window. Okay, so there's just a little more history. So the first documented evidence of the cathedral window design used in a quilt appeared at the Chicago World's Fair in the United States in 1933, which I did not know. I mean, maybe Mary Kay and Barbara wrote about that in their book, but I missed it.
Everything happened at that World's Fair.
The hot dog, the Ferris wheel, maybe not the hot dog, but the Ferris wheel. Possibly it's
that was the 1800s. That was the 1800s
I
one.
always get those messed up. I really do, actually. I'm like, cotton candy, the wheel. It was the World's Fair in Chicago. Possibly the cathedral windows design, the subsequent popularity of it in the U.S. was partly due to the fact that it needed no backing or borders. And during those Depression years, the only fabric most quilters had was a pile of plain cream-colored corn sacks. Wait, what's happening here? Which could make the folded squares and a few scraps of colored fabric, which made the windows. But wait a minute, I thought it took 9 times as much fabric. I'm confused.
It does, but I guess if all you have are those, like if you have like an inferior fabric, like
sure.
You know, like a feed sack or a flour sack or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Folding it over like that would reinforce it, I guess.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
I still think of it as being extremely wasteful, but yeah, if you're looking at it from the perspective of you've got really crappy white fabric, it would actually be better to use it that way than to try to use it as like a regular quilt block.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you're getting the weight without that backing. I mean, it is kind of you're sort of cannibalizing the fabric like as you go. That's not great imagery. Okay. Anyway, evidence of cathedral window patchwork has been seen more recently in China and Korea, where the design seems to go back several centuries. Aware of my interest in cathedral windows, many people have sent me samples and information. Anne Roberts from Sussex has a modern baby carrier that she bought in China, which was made using the cathedral window design. She found illustrations in a book on Chinese costume that showed the pattern. Known as the coin pattern, it was a symbol of prosperity and was believed to ward off evil. Well, I am going to make a note in my notes to look that up, because if I had known that, we could have done more on the cathedral window. But for now, so I'm going to put Chinese cathedral window / coin. I've said many times this show is an exploration, not a presentation. It's not some lecture. I'm learning along with you, which is like so much fun. Okay, so what about, hey, Rebecca Bratbird. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming by. Who has made a cathedral window? I should say, who has made cathedral window patchwork? Anyone? Anyone out there? We could do a poll, or we could just talk about it. Here's our other cathedral window patchwork for tonight. Have you done it, Cake? Yeah.
I've made a few blocks. I have not done any further than that because it's a really pain in the butt technique. Yeah. It's not that hard though. I think somebody just said that it seemed intimidating or seemed hard.
Yeah.
It's actually not at all hard. It's just a lot of work, and it's just feels like it's going to take you forever to make something with it.
Yeah. And so you just kind of make like 10 of them and you're like, I'm cool now with this. Is that what it's like?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So this quilt is from this Lynn Edwards book, and I liked it a lot because, I mean, yeah, is it satin? Is it silk? Let's see. So this was made by Lynn Edwards, as far as I can tell, because she says, in Silver Blue Tower, which is the name of this quilt, in Silver Blue Tower, all the folded background squares, as well as the windows, were of silk, which was not an easy task. With all the folding and pressing, and also very extravagant. I feel like she means price-wise. The extra shimmery quality made it all worth it, though, creating an almost ethereal effect, which I love. Let me zoom out. I do too. I mean, wow. Dang. And so this would have been made when this book, was published. It was at least made before it was published, which was in 2008, and it was first published in the UK and USA. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know Lynn Edwards, but her color play is really nice. I mean, it looks like glass. Like when I look at it on your screen, so I have a monitor, but then I kind of look at what you all are seeing. And from what I can tell, it really looks like, what is that? Like glass cubes, the sort of mid-century modern kind of glass cube wall. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a name for that, but it looks...
Yeah, I can't remember what those are called, but yeah, this one, this is really beautiful.
It's great, right?
And I like how they haven't fully done the whole cathedral on the outer ones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They've left the little, the little, I don't know, where the edges of the fabric meet, but they haven't peeled it back to make that little thing. And you said it was silk, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like, it looks like it's taffeta, and so it probably like takes a crease really nice.
Yeah, cool. Yep. These different types of fabric, different substrates are going to allow you to do certain things or not allow you to do certain things at all, right? Like it's like burlap now, I don't know. But that's interesting. And just like, you pointed out, like she didn't go full cathedral window on that. And so you get this amazing like rosebud or just like little pea shoot or something kind of size or shape. And then this is like a curtain unfolding because she didn't open up all four, but just one. Dang, now I think we could do a whole show on Cathedral Window. We'll come back to it. I mean, I definitely want to go to China and see what they're doing over there. But it was interesting to look at some of these books and to see the variations on it. And it made me appreciate Cathedral Window a little bit more than I had. Has Randall made like a full thing? I just looked down and saw somebody say, wow, Randall. Okay. So I found a new YouTuber that I really like, and I'm gonna introduce her to you. Hold on. Gotta get this right there. So if you see a YouTuber, you're like, yeah, Cake, what's
okay,
up?
I have to share what Randall said.
Yeah.
So Randall says, my gynecologist 40 years ago liked to make cathedral window blocks to keep in practice for sutures.
Okay, you know what? I was gonna play the siren, but like that's amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I feel like any doctor that stays up to date on like stitching your body parts together, I feel like that's a great hobby to have. Sewing,
you know what?
Stitching.
You know what? Women's health, man. Like, give it up for like practicing your stitches. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Randall, for sharing that. All is not lost. Okay. Okay. So this person Wait, let me do this. Hold on. So the name of this channel is Quilting for the Soul. And so Quilting for the Soul. Now let's go to the let's go to her channel really quick. And so Quilting for the Soul, about, okay. Welcome to Quilting for the Soul. This is a home for beginner and seasoned quilters to share advice, chat, and gain knowledge on a craft that we all love to do. You will follow along as I make mistakes and work through them. I'm new to quilting and am drawing on all the confidence of my grandmother, Vella C., who I used to sit under and watch quilt. Now, there's a little more, but I just want to tell you, I've seen a lot of quilt content. I've made a lot of quilt content. As I was like reviewing some of her videos, because she has like several like half-hour long videos on Cathedral window and her like journey of making one of these things. And I gotta tell you, I'm saying it, I have not watched a quilt video instructor person where I felt more like I was sitting and sewing with her than this person. You'll see. I'm going to play some of this. Looks like Sarah Ragland is her name. Anyway, all of her information is on her page. While I sadly did not realize at the time how important it was to learn this special craft, I believe my grandmother Vella C. watches over me as I work on my quilts today. I can hear her calling me by my nickname as I sew, Josie. It warms my heart. This craft truly feeds the soul. Welcome and feel free to reach out to me at any time. Excellent. We love to hear it. Love to see it. So, hang on. We go back here. So she's got lots of videos. She's got 1.29K subscribers. I mean, Quilt Nerds, let's get her at least to the 2,000 mark right now. And this is the image that starts. She's like, I know that you're not interrupting me sewing. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love her. Okay. So hand sewing on my Cathedral window quilt. I've sped it up. I've got it at 1.5. It's a 29-minute video. Like I said, it's one of a few that she has on Cathedral window. I'm not going to play it all, but I wanted to promote her channel because I think she's really great and show you some of this, how she's doing this, because I've never seen anybody make a Cathedral window, any Cathedral window patchwork. So we'll jump around a little bit, you know, taste what she's got going on, and then you can explore more on your own. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine tonight. Hope all is well with you and your family. I told you I was going to come back with a little sewing tonight on my Cathedral window quilt.
That's as loud as I can play it, so, you know, it'll be fine on your devices, but yeah, just so you know, it's loud. I always want to play it faster, but then I just don't know if anyway, I'll slow it down. Okay, here we go.
And I'm going to do a little bit. Fair warning, I'm babysitting. My daughter is out with her boss. He took her out to dinner tonight. Ain't that nice? It's so nice. But anyway, so I may have to stop because you may hear a Nana. Just warn. I always warn in here because this house is live. Got 2 children here and 3 dogs, so somebody's gonna let you know that they're here. But
you know,
anyway,
it's
we're
like
gonna
you're
get
just
to the
with
sewing.
her.
I'm going to come back and I'm gonna drop my camera and hopefully get a very good angle on it. I'm sitting at my grandson's desk, and I'm also here tonight. And what y'all know? What kind of
She's done
needles
a lot on it at this point. Like, just go to her channel. You can see this is her video number 38, hand sewing on my Cathedral window quilt. Okay.
I'm using too. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I might needed to set up my lights, but I didn't. But I'm finishing up this orange block right here. Finishing it up. And I think this will be my next block. So I think I'm going to put
You got it, Penny.
a
I get
little,
it.
I had a little Ninja Turtle. These are scrappy blocks. They're made from various quilts. This is actually the first quilt I finished was my grandson's quilt. So he had Ninja Turtles, started out with Ninja Turtles, and you'll find a puppy. So it'd be nice, and you're my granddaughter's princess, and so it'd be nice when people look at this quilt. Here's the face of a puppy. Where'd he go? Where did that little sucker go? There he goes.
Look at that little
he's got a
puppy.
husky.
See? I mean, I didn't think about fussy cutting either, right? I didn't think about how you Cathedral window. I mean, is there any more fussy cutting? Like, perfect. You got a window, you know?
Yeah, and you can make your things shallower to show more of it.
Oh,
your
yeah.
little turnover, your turnover.
Cool, cool. I love that. Oh, that's so great.
But the black one got cut off. But anyway, it'd be nice when people look at the quilt and say, oh my God, there's a dog or there's a Ninja Turtle. We all know Ninja Turtles if we got children around. So we're going to do a little bit of hand sewing. Like I say, I may have to stop. I'm trying to keep it so you guys can see it. And I'm going to show you my needles. I like the scrawl needles, but I've been using these because the scrawl needles been a lot. And these kind of hold up a little while. So I've been using those.
Like, what I like about her videos, and like I said, I watched a few of them, without like a lot of, you know, I mean, look, I got these lights, you know, I got a soundboard. Like I try to do the most, you know, to like give these bells and whistles to the show. And it's a different show that I'm making, but like just her sense of holding the needles up close enough. The angle is great. Like when I've tried to do a Sunday social where I'm sewing, it's hard, you know, Steph, to set up the camera and stuff. And I just feel like I can see what she's doing and she's speaking like clearly about like what she is doing. Anyway, sorry. I don't watch a ton of how-to stuff. And so when I find somebody I like, I really get it because I really have made a ton of how-to content and it's hard. It's hard.
About my bobbin in here. But evidently I
Boop the
didn't.
snoot. Snoot a boop.
So I'm gonna go with this bobbin here. It may not work for me too much, but I'm gonna go with that one for right now. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody is well and enjoying the rest of the summer because it's almost over. But we're gonna finish this block up here, and I want to show you guys. I'm probably going to stop this video and show you how I have my knots in here, so you don't have to worry about your knots showing.
Which she
once
does.
you run out of thread, or you know, rethread your needle. But I had someone to ask me how to do the center blocks, and I know I have a video on that.
She does, and that's...
But it don't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all to show it again. Because sometimes, you know, people, and I myself have to be shown things several times. My daughter, especially with this equipment, I still ain't got my camera rolling, so this video is not going to be as long as I would like until I get that up and rolling. I don't know what the deal is with that. I can't get the settings right on it. And,
Same.
my son has just been so busy that he hadn't had a time.
Cake, do you get what I'm saying? Like you're sewing with her? Like you're just like shooting the breeze and just sewing with her?
Yeah, I love her. She's adorable.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I love to take classes, but I think a lot of times I learn more just by sitting beside somebody who's making something.
1000%. And I mean, I it's terrible that I don't. I mean, if anybody, I don't know, just let her know that like we love her over here because I think I'm not gonna be alone. Okay, look. Okay, here. So here we go. So this is the video where she's really going deep on how to do this part. Okay. And like I said, you know, these are series videos. She's really taking you through stuff, but let's just watch a little bit of how this construction is working here. Right. Cause I've never done this. So
I get through. I cut up my little opening. Can you see that? It's too dark over here. I cut off my little seams there. See, I left a pretty good opening there on this one. Usually I don't leave them so big. And then I cut my tips off. Make sure you do not cut into your seams. I slant my tips down because I want this to turn. I want to get my little points as pointy as I can. It's important that you get them as pointy as you can.
There's so many tips in there, right?
So I cut those off. Make sure you do not cut your seams. People, I am not cutting into the seams.
Oh, sorry.
I'm cutting, see, there's my seam right there. Then I take and go back to my opening. Seems like you never can find it. Stick my thumb in there.
This is so interesting.
This through. Pull it through. Try not to
Amazing.
mess around in your little opening there too much. Distort your material because you want to try to lay that seam down in the same direction on the at the end of the seam. And
Wow.
if you distort it, you won't be able to. You'll be able to do it, but it'll take a lot of work. So once I get it open,
Wow.
I stick my finger right here, and see right here. Don't be looking at this as the middle of your block. Just kind of don't pay that any attention. But make sure that your seams are going. I kind of let them go the way they want to go. You can see my 4 seams there. And I just push my little ends as much as I can get them out. Sometimes I still have to come back and get a pen. And you can also use a chopstick
Nice.
or a turner, whatever you got
What's she sewing on? What's her
to
machine?
do that.
Did anybody see? Just
I wanna
curious.
make sure that all my little ends, and see, I cut down on that
Yeah.
so I can get these.
Did you see? I mean, just because we're interested, right? So did-
It's a similar machine that I have. It's a Baby Lock, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I don't know, like, this is how I want to learn stuff. It's like, and I don't know. Yeah, a chopstick. I have that, you know. I don't have a fancy Cathedral window stiletto to use. And also just like the labor, I'm just seeing the labor involved in one of these pieces. And I think that's the spectacle and the beauty and it's the spectacle of a cathedral window is the effect of it. But I mean, yeah, because it takes that.
It's deceiving when you look at it. It's hard to understand how it was put together until you actually start, because those seams are not going to be around the outside of the square. They're crisscrossing the middle of the square.
Yes, right.
So so that's why this part, she's giving a lot of good tips, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's what I did wrong.
Well, and it was so interesting. She's like, don't think of this as the middle of your block or middle of your piece. And I was like, what? Like, come on.
And she's absolutely. And that's the part that's like kind of confusing, I think, until you understand how it goes together.
Right.
But this is really good. This is good stuff. I might go back and make another one, a tiny one, a little one, a wee doll quilt one.
A wee one. Ooh, you know what? I bet somebody out there has done like mini cathedral window. I'm sure they've just for the taste of it, they've tried to do
I don't know if Amy's here tonight, but you know Amy likes the tiny quilt.
Yes. Oh my God, that's right. I saw Amy. The gauntlet has been thrown. Amy Pabst. You know what? You might have already done it. She probably has. God, there's talented people around here. Anyway, so listen, you know, we show some of this on the show. Love this person. I think she's so talented and good at this. Go subscribe to her channel, watch her content, share it. That's how the YouTube game works. But she's one of the best teachers I think I've seen on the platform. That's just the way it is. And I think it's pretty obvious. It's just the way it is. All right, so that's so great. So there you go, Cathedral window. I think we spent a half an hour on it. That's okay. Cake, you want to do a cake break tonight? You got some, or can we? Yeah.
I can do a cake break. I don't have anything Dr. Dunton, but I can tantalize people with something that I will be showing on my show on Thursday.
I want tantalization.
Commercial.
Listen, tantalize us, please. I am always down for some tantalizing. Pardon me. Yes. So here you are, and here's your cake break, and we'll be back, and I'll show you a few other things. There's just a few books that had some beautiful quilts in them, and a couple really amazing style shots that like one of them has an enormous urn, like really big. It's like a really big urn. It's fun. It's fun. So stick around, and I'll be right back. Take it away, Cake.
Okay, so my PR manager, Eva Little, will not let me go until I mention the fact that I stream on Thursdays, Mondays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So I've done my job, Eva. Okay. So, but also thanks to Eva, let me back up a little bit and kind of tell the whole story. So I was actually online not too long ago looking for just some pictures of quilts to use in a presentation. Really wanted some album quilts, but just really any kind of quilts that were going to be like Creative Commons or not require, paying for the rights, basically. And the Smithsonian has a lot of these images that are available. And I think Mary showed them to us recently. So I've been looking through there, and lo and behold, I find this kit quilt that I personally have one of the kits, an unopened kit of this quilt. And it's nothing that is like, I don't know. It's nothing that most people would probably think is amazing. It's like a giant eagle, kind of, think about your 1976 bicentennial kind of eagle silhouette. And then it's got a whole bunch of curly cues like around the border and stuff. But it's kind of cool. And from what I understand, when I bought the kit, was that it was from the 50s, like give or take. So on the Smithsonian site, it's actually in the Renwick Galleries, their collection. So the Renwick's collection, it was given by the family of a woman that she wanted her quilt donated, I think, just in honor of the people that quilted with her throughout her life. So, and it says it was made in 1950. And then it said something to the effect of like designer unknown. And I was like, well, the Smithsonian, I know who the designer was, whoever sold their rights to Paragon, because it's a Paragon kit quilt. So anyway, as I'm telling folks about this story on my stream, Eva says, well, and I think I mentioned something about hearing that maybe JCPenney's maybe sold it or whatever. Eva says, well, how about this website that has all of these catalogs, like vintage catalogs, literally the entire JCPenney's like Christmas catalog from like 1973. Yes, you can go look at it. And I was so excited because I had done a real basic Google, and of course that always takes me to eBay. So I guess I need to talk to Eva and find out, why Eva's Googles show better things than my Googles do. But anyway, that I have found some amazing stuff. So not just, there's only a couple things about quilting, unfortunately, but I will have some other sewing things and just some things that will make you laugh, make you cry. So that is what's going on Thursday on my show. Could you buy kit quilts from pennies? So that's the thing. I posted this thing on my own Instagram, like, who do I write at the Renwick? Like, dear Renwick, here's something about your quilt. So really, I don't know who the designer is, so I probably wouldn't be offering them anything super helpful, but a friend of mine who is not a quilt nerd saw my post and was like, oh my gosh, I went down a very similar rabbit hole for a piece I did.
Wow.
She's an exhibiting artist like I am, and so she was like all gung-ho, like giving me some, get me in touch with people and giving me all of these options. And so I'm like, all right, slow down here. I got to do Dutton stuff. Yeah. But
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I did start kind of going down that rabbit hole. And yes, supposedly you could absolutely buy those kits at Sears. I mean, we absolutely 100% know that Sears sold like the Marie Webster stuff. Maybe not her kits, but they sold the stuff to make her quilts. So we know that they did, and it's just supposition that somebody told me pennies might be where it specifically came from. I can't find it in the catalogs, like the 60s and 70s catalogs. It doesn't mean that they didn't sell it. It just isn't in those catalogs, but yeah.
I'm sitting right now this was the JCPenney's department store building.
Yeah,
it's
that's
right.
I totally forgot about that.
It says it in tile, in mosaic tile on the listen. Let me tell you something. Is there anything else? I don't want to tell.
No,
okay.
I was just going to say, it was such an amazing find, and sorry guys, I'm not going to spill the beans on what the website is.
Yeah, not yet.
Either come to my show. I know it's in the middle of the day for some folks. Watch the video on demand.
Yeah.
If I got a shill for myself, this is the only way I can do it.
Listen, that's the game we are playing, and yes. So, okay, so we're in the IO Quilt Museum is in the old JCPenney building. We're upstairs right now. And anyway, okay. I'm not going to tell you that. There's a story that's sort of it's ridiculous. When we were finishing school, there was kind of a funny joke about JCPenney's, but that's not worth telling. What is worth telling you about in terms of a historical Mary Fonz, family story thing is this, okay? Is this. Hold on. Now, I grew up in this town. My mom used to get actually, I think I've said it on this show. I got my training bra here, okay? I did. I think I've said it, okay? Who cares? My mom, it was on the mezzanine. Now there's quilt, schematics and an old Singer sewing machine. And there's all these exhibits in this museum. And the mezzanine, but the mezzanine is where it was lingerie and intimates. I don't know what they called it, but I needed a bra at a certain point in my life, okay? I was a person who was a female, and I needed, and we got it here, all right? We got it. And I was so excited, and it was just pieces of cloth, okay? And they were in a triangle shape. And I got my training bra in this building, and that's what I wanted to say. Let's move on. Sorry.
Could you imagine, though, at 11 or 12 years old, I don't know how old, I don't even remember.
I don't either. I was a late bloomer, so who knows? I don't remember.
But, I mean, you're obviously middle school, high school.
Yes.
Could you have imagined that so many years later you would be conducting a live stream, essentially, a online show from the very place you bought your training bra?
And I love my bra today, and it's so much better. And I bought it myself. How about that? You know what? No. What did I do? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So anyway, I became a woman in this building. You could say in a way. Okay. Anyway, while we're on the subject of the past, one of the books that I found downstairs in the dusty book treasury was this book, and I flipped through it. I flipped through so many books, y'all, to find the goods for you. And I found this book, and I was flipping through, and there wasn't anything that I wanted to share with you other than, let's look at this one. Here they are. Here they are. Fonz and Porter, Marianne Fonz and Liz Porter. I mean, fresh-faced, footloose, and fancy-free they were. Look at these women. Look at these women. Okay, so my mom is in this book, Creative American Quilting, Better Homes and Gardens, okay, which is interesting. 1989, Meredith Corporation. Oh yeah, Meredith Corporation published Better Homes and Gardens. So Iowa State Fair, look, a ribbon, there's my mother. And let me tell you something, 1989, okay? Now I'm not going to cry. I mean, if I didn't cry about the training bra story, I can make it. But today's quilter, look at Liz. Oh God, you look fabulous. I love her hair. I'm not kidding. I love it. I wish I had both. My mother has amazing curly hair. I did not inherit any of it. I think you all can see that. Anyway. So here they are, and here's this piece about them. And, this quilt, which we've talked about on this show, this quilt was hanging in our dining room, and here's Mom in her quilted vest. If you're a photographer doing a shoot, don't do the group photo at high noon, and have everyone look into the sun. I'm just saying. Unless you were pressed for time and there was no way, but there's always another way. Everyone's squinting. It's not great, but it's okay. Oh, I also recognize this quilt. That's wild. Anyway, so there's my mom. She's so wonderful. I love her so much, and I love Liz. And let me tell you something, is that 1989 is when my parents got divorced. And I was 10 years old. Don't worry, I'm not going to trauma dump on you. But I want to tell you that these pictures, today it would be Instagram, and all these pictures of people. How did my mom meet Liz? Eva, that's a great story. Sherlock High. Vest envy. Indeed, same. I would wear those vests today. I really would. But when I was looking at these pictures, I noticed, so they did a story about the Monday quilters, okay? And like I said, I'm not going to trauma dump, but this is all I'm sharing with you from this book, okay? They did a story or a piece in the book on the Monday quilters, and I was like, OMG, that is Velma Van Scoy, okay? And that is Jean Kensel. And these women who are not with us today, when my mom and dad got divorced, here they are again, okay? There's Velma right there. They let us stay in their house. We didn't have anywhere to go. We didn't have a house. And it was a very bad situation with my dad, and it was really bad and scary and bad, and we had to leave right away, and we didn't have anywhere to go. We didn't have a house. I mean, we didn't have a home, okay? We were homeless, okay? And this woman and her husband, took in a woman and her 3 daughters, and we stayed at their houses. We and Katie, my second mom, she too, we were farmed out. Hannah had a friend, I had a friend, Rebecca had a friend. We were friends enough that we could go and stay with our friends for weeks on end. And then we could go to Jean's house for a month. We stayed, this woman, I remember, we stayed, actually it was Velma, we stayed in their basement. They had a basement, that we could stay in. I mean, it was, it was there was a couple bedrooms in there. Mom could have a bedroom, but they had enough room for us, and they took us in. And I'll never forget them, their faces. And Jean was so wonderful, Jean and Paul, and this was, this was the community, and as one does, as one does, and I just want to thank them. And I had not thought about that in a while, and I had not thought about 1989. And my sister Rebecca, who is a superstar, she was born in 82, so she was 7, right? And Hannah was born in 75. So I mean, it was just really hard. We just didn't have anywhere to go. And then finally we had the house where I mostly grew up, which belonged to my Aunt Catherine, and she had died, and Mom and my grandma worked it out, whatever. We couldn't live there. And I remember my mom was doing drywall. While we were staying in these people's houses, she was trying to get it together. And remember, Mom and Liz in 1989, there's no TV show yet. There's no book. These are gig people. This is the gig economy before it had a name. I mean, Mom was leaving to go do teaching, and Liz, and they had made the basket book. And obviously they're in this book, which is amazing. Whoops. That's a great, I mean, things are happening, right? But I remember, and again, I'm not everybody goes through stuff. This is life, period, whatever. But school clothes, new school clothes, or I was a cheerleader for a hot minute and I needed sneakers. It waited till the royalty check arrived from the book that she did with. That's just the way it was, and it's all good, Whatever. I'm just saying, thank you to the women. Thank you to the women, these 2 women, and to the women who are in your life who are I'll help you. I got you. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You got those women too, right?
Yeah, I had some, I'm luckily an only child, but, I had those women in my life too, and similar kerfuffles.
Yeah. Similar disturbances in the clan.
In the course of childhood, yeah.
Right, yeah, totally. Yeah, right on. So, so that was, I had never seen that before, and Mom's not watching, and I'll just show her this picture, and this one, maybe not remember when you had to ask Jean? Yeah, okay, anyway. And also I forgot to mention that the intro quilt behind me tonight was just so beautiful. This is the only one from this book, the Rodale Classic American Quilt Collection Book of Baskets, okay? It's whatever. I think we have a link for it. It's fine, but this is just a great quilt. It's just a great cheddar, turkey red, faded quilt. I mean, my God, it's just like the woman said, who we were just watching, Sarah, I believe, is that what her name was? She was quilt making is really like an art that comes from the soul. It's like a soulful thing to do. I agree. I mean, this quilt is effortlessly cool. And like, I don't know, humanity just pours out of this thing for me. And that's why I like quilts so much. You know, it's like art, but with meaning in a way that you can't get from a painting. Sorry, just can't. I don't get the same meaning, I should say. Yeah. This was made around 1900 in Pennsylvania. We don't know the maker. It's about 77 by 85 inches. And yeah, and it was on the cover of a book that was published by Rodale in the 90s. And that was that. All right. So to close out the show tonight, we're going to look at a few really fun style shots from this book. I love to look at style shots of quilts. They're very hard to do. Paula, you got it. It's an art form for sure, 1000%. Penny Catherine, it's so good to see you. I haven't said hi to anybody tonight. Jill, and I saw Elle Riggs over there. Oh my God. And the Flintster, thank you so much for subscribing at tier 2. You've been subscribed for 23 months. You're about to get one of these. That's a 2-year anniversary wolf whistle.
I think Sibby Mac also got one today.
Oh, she did. Sibby Mac, you know what?
I think I saw 23 months. I mean, Sibby Mac, your subscription is almost, is a toddler.
Yes, that's right. You're almost, you're almost a, no, terrible subscriber. That's terrible. Terrible twos, no, that is beautiful. We're all toddlers at this point, because the people who subscribe for that long subscribed like as soon as subscriptions were even an option. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. I'm here too, I'm also a subscriber. I believe in this show also. So it's great that other people do as well. So here we go. I've got a few style shots from this book, Folk Quilts, and how to recreate them. The cover looked really promising, and indeed, it's a good book. And I really like looking at how people photograph quilts, okay? Because with Quilt Folk, done a lot of style shots. I really learned a lot. I look at old issues of Quilty. I don't sit around looking at old issues of Quilty magazine, but I have the issues in the office, and so we did look at a Quilty magazine at one point during a show. I was looking at my early style shots, my early work, and then how I photograph quilts later. And it's an art. It really is. I think this is a very successful style shot. I would have cropped it a little bit more. What I like about this is that the quilt, it's touching the ground a little, but it always bothers me when you have these opportunities to hang a quilt outside and the quilt is dragging on the ground. This is to me, this is a cardinal sin. No, don't let it drag on the ground. You can make it so it doesn't, right? Anyway, but this is very nice. This is a very nice picture. It's a very nice picture. Yeah, I might crop it a little more. Anyway, I won't get too persnickety, but the red in this, the brick, the hay, the wood, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's a great style shot, okay? So mad props to these folks. Ooh, who's here? Hey, Volin Vine, oh my God. Oh, that's a little champagne for you. And these, let's get some welcome baskets in the chat for Volin Vine. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome basket. Volin Vine. I love this. Volin Vine. It's like woolen wine, only you're French. No, you're German. Woolen Vine. Okay, anyway, this is so great you're here. Everybody's glad you're here. I can say that with full confidence. Okay, because we love our folks. Okay, so then here, look at this one. Now this does not seem that, like exciting. Like, why, Mary, would you pick this? Well, for one thing, what's happening here? Is that a snowdrift? I feel like it is. Let me zoom out. What could it be? It's not frosting. Is it? It really looks like like snow covering a tree. Maybe it's snow covering like a little pine tree or something. So that's a lot, but that's not why I chose it. I chose it because, the twin bed. If one great quilt, and this is not my style that I would choose. The sugarcone border is rendered beautifully. Like, there's a lot going on that's really nice about this quilt and its twin. But it's great. It's great. Yeah, please.
I bought somebody's unfinished, and I've been working on quilts of this It is this pattern.
No, really?
Yeah.
Dude.
For real. The only, and yeah, I mean, it is this pattern, because that border is very specific.
Wow.
And then the way that you set those little orange peely shapes on the inside of the Dresden.
Which, by the way, totally looks like cathedral window. Right?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
It really does. But
Yeah.
so my colors are different because I'm assuming it was not a kit. It was just a pattern.
Ah, interesting.
And what I have, I got at an auction. It was literally somebody just stopped sewing it right in the middle of it. But holy cow, I've never seen it before. Now to see it suddenly, like, wow.
That's crazy, Cake. And listen,
Yeah.
I was not like, I mean, there's a lot of style shots in this book, which we have a link for if you're so inclined. Get it through our affiliate link. But I mean, I kept looking at this picture and I was like, is this like, I'm going to pick 5 or 6 from this book. And I ended up choosing it because I was like, twin beds, a guest room with twin beds. I've seen a room with twin beds in it when I've looked at like quilt retreats or like different things, because that happens a lot, or like, summer camp kind of things that you might do. But in general, like, I haven't been to many people's homes where they have like a room with 2 twin beds. Maybe if you have kids. My whole point in saying this is because if a really great quilt is on a bed, I've seen pictures where the same quilt on another bed in the room, like, it's awesome. Like, it looks great. I don't know, like, I really liked the effect of this, and that's what that's what I have to say about it, is like a a bedroom with 2 beds in it, 2 twin beds with quilts on it. I mean, it's great. I've seen it a fair amount. I've just never talked about it, right? I've never called it out and looked at it. Excuse me. So that's interesting that you recognize this so much. I love that. It's great. Little picture there, chintz curtains. I mean, look, they did a great job with the pictures in this book. I do think so. Every once in a while, I like to look at style shots. I think it's interesting. Okay, this one's great. But actually, okay, well, I showed it to you, so we're gonna keep it. I love a sailboat quilt. It's great. I feel like they overdid the props a little bit. A little. You've got 2 bears, which sublime, okay? Could not be better. The schlubby sweater, which seems very, very high-end to me. It's very Celine. It's very maybe Gucci. Just those little, I don't know. It seems high fashion to me. I'm not kidding. It really does. It's got a weird shape. It's sort of formless. Expensive buttons. I'm just saying. It seems very chic. This is loved. He's so loved. He's falling apart, right? I love it. I love it so much. The bear. Bridgewater, you saw it. Eva's like, wait, what's the over prop? The net or the sailor suit? We're getting there. Okay, this little scamp, I feel like this is kind of like he or she, they are bending expectations. Oh, I mean, like there, I don't know. It's wonderful. Who is this bear? Who was he or she or them? I don't know. I love it.
That's like the French Foreign Legion Navy or something. It's nautical in some aspect, but maybe.
Yes, it's like a French maid and the French Foreign Legion, like, officer had a bear. That's great. I love this show. Okay, so the bears are perfect. The sailor, if it gets the sailor costumes or it's the net, look, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun. It's just fun. If I could remove one thing, it would be the net, but then you'd have weird symmetry. I would probably crop it a little bit different, take the sailor suits off the wall, or put the big bear into one of the sailor suits. Get rid of the other one, just saying. But it's also a great quilt in a great room. Look at this white wood wall. It's fabulous. Somebody cared, and I really, really love that. I really do. Really do. Okay. This is just a great quilt. This was a flat shot from this book. I've got 2. Just this one. Because it's called Peapod Leaf. Peapod, Peapod. Peapod Leaf, made circa 1880. Artist is unknown. I don't have measurements on it, but I don't know. That's fabulous. That's just beautiful, right? It's a leaf. There's no bud on this. It's so good. It's so good.
It's very pleasing. It's very good design.
Yep. The God, I mean, it just looks like it's pressed from nature, you know, the way that it is. I love it so much. And they look all hand cut to me, basically, because no two are alike. They're not, yeah. Look, I'll show you 3 at once, right? They're all hand cut. They're just wonderful. Yep, quaquaw, you saw it. Each leaf is slightly different. Pea pod stems are delicious. Jill Alex, I agree. Yeah, and the pink and the red, it's just wonderful. I mean, God, what you can do if you have a vision for, oh, look, it doesn't have a green border on one side. The right-hand side is there's no green border. Interesting. So anyway, great quilt. Okay, so we've got the urn. Let's look at the urn. Okay, we'll end on a great one. So I've got 3 more. Okay, then we're gonna cut out for the night because I got hay fever and it's killing me. Okay, I didn't crop this very well. Let me see if I can. I don't need to crop it. Who needs a crop? I love a scanned page. So, I mean, what do you think? Let me just critique this image. It's cool. Like, there's a lot that's great about it. The urn is dominating for me.
I have an issue with the urn because the quilt is bright, so your eye does immediately travel to the quilt because right. It's got red in it. But exactly. Then you look up and you're like, I don't want to sit with that quilt because that urn's gonna fall on me.
It is. Oh my God! And then there's him. He's. Ugh. So this is your shot. Like, that's your tight crop shot. That's hot. That is a hot looking silk quilt on a cast iron thing, whatever. The brick wall, like, yes. It's just, I don't know. I love people. I love that it's ominous. Exactly. It's scary. Robin, Sherlock, they're like, it's ominous, it's scary.
The urn is menacing the quilt.
Yeah, and Ella Riggs is like, is that an urn in your pocket? Or Michelle couldn't even see the quilt because of the urn. Agreed. I mean, it's just, here's the thing, and I have a rule when I've ever done style shots, and I'm gonna do some more for the foundry here in a couple months, but like, I feel like the quilt, especially if you're leading with it, the quilt needs to take up no less than half of the frame. Like, if you're photographing a quilt, the quilt is the superstar. Make sure that the quilt is filling most of your shot. And right now, the quilt and the urn, they're fighting. It's a duel to the death on this one. Okay. Okay, and then the penultimate one. This one's great. God, when I say I love people and I love their creativity, I am so sincere. I'm not joking. I am not like making fun. Somebody, and I just picture it, because I've made decisions too. It's like somebody was like, we've got one more quilt to shoot. It's The Drunkard's Path. It's blue and white. I don't know. There's not a lot going on. Like, what are we going to do? And somebody's like, I know. There's we've got red carnations in the garden. We could pick some of those. They're on location. Everybody's just at work. They don't, they're just shooting the thing, okay? And look at the sun. Look where the sun is. Sun is running out. They've got like an hour, okay, that they can still shoot. And it's a great time. It's the golden hour, blue hour, whatever, but like, it's got to happen, okay? They're like, but we've shot in every room of the house. Like, we don't have any more sailor suits. There's no more urns. Like, we've shot on every one of these like stone. Listen, people, I have done this work, okay? And they're like, we've got to get the shot. We have to. It's one of the quilts in the book. And somebody's like, red carnations. And they're like, yes, grab the white table out of
balls.
What's that? Well, I'm getting to the croquet balls. So somebody's like, get the red carnations. There's like a silver vase. It's great. There's a white table in the hallway. Grab it. We'll put it outside. The house is too dark at this point. We can't shoot in the house. Get it outside. We'll put it on the porch. And then somebody's like, but what chair? They're like, the rocking chair. It matches the table. So they're like, great. They do it. Something's missing. They don't know what to do. I mean, they're like, this is not good enough. It doesn't look good. And the white chair and the thing, it's wrong because there's not enough contrast with the white and the blue quilt. It's not going to work. It's not working. What are we going to do? And then somebody says, there's a croquet set. I saw it in the shed. There's a full croquet. There's so many colors in the croquet set. There's balls, there's croquet mallets. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And somebody's like, that's not going to work. And they're like, it's going to work. They run, they get the croquet set, they get the balls. They get the balls and they're like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then they throw some of the balls in front of the quilt and the thing. And then somebody's like, put the croquet mallets behind. Let's just get some depth. And then somebody's like, it's okay, but we need to take the flowers away. It's too much. There's too much happening in this picture. Croquet mallets and flowers, like I can't even see it. And by that time, the photographer is like, I'm hangry and we're done here. And then they take the shot and that's the shot. I'm telling you, I've been here. and by the way, the ladder, like, what could you just shoot it, just stand in a different place so you don't see the ladder or like the electric cord. Anyway, I have so much fun with this. It's such a good time. It's great. The croquet mallet, it's great, you know? I could do that all day.
And all I can think about is being yelled at for leaving croquet balls laying around because somebody could trip over them and hurt themselves.
Stitches, thank you for following.
Not lost on me that it's a drunkard's path.
Yeah, it's a drunk. Oh my God, yes, it's a drunkard's path. Oh, that's so lovely. Yes, it's, maybe they were like, maybe the person who were the house where they were shooting, maybe the person's like, martinis, ladies, like let me mix you a few. You know, I'm a sailor. I'm a salty sea dog, and I've got martinis, ladies, please. And they're like, oh, well, we've still got 2 quilts to shoot. We really shouldn't, you know, but then they do. And they're like, croquet mallets, carnations. I'm telling you, it's fabulous. Drunkard's path.
This feels like a badly executed Great Gatsby moment, right?
It kind of is. And you know what else is like, here's another thing they had to deal with. It's winter. Like, they got issues. We saw the snow. It's cold. They're all tired. They just want to go home, and there's no green. If there had been green, you know what we wouldn't have had? You know what we wouldn't have had? We wouldn't have had this. I guarantee you, if there had been a beautiful rose bush or some kind of thing. I mean, there's a little green, but come on. Look at this tree. This tree, that tree is a naked tree. And when you don't have any green to go with, it's hard to shoot quilts outside, but you got to do it anyway. So,
well, you can tell from the grass it's the dead of winter.
It really is. It really is. And we know that this is great. They're like, it's summer. Like, no, it's not. Yeah, here's our tree covered in snow. God, I love these people so much. I really do. It's so hard to shoot that many. It's just hard. And there's no budget and there's nothing. Here's our last picture. I feel like this is one of the most successful. Well, it's definitely successful. It is among the most successful in the book. And again, I'm not shading. I just want to say that because like I have fun with my fun. We all have criticisms. It's okay to have a criticism. It's okay to have an opinion. You can disagree with me. You can agree with me. It's totally fine. It's all good. But I first of all, the quilt is fabulous. Second of all, the art. This backgammon board or maybe backgammon. I'm not sure. It looks like a game board of some kind. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. It is. Oh my God! You know what? Woolen. It is.
Yeah, I immediately thought that. I'm like, that's the favorite corner from the Nautical Bears.
It's totally Woolen Vine, our new friend, is. Or Catching Alive Tonight has identified it is the same room as the Bears, of course, the Bears. Yes, it is. And look at what they did. Oh wait. Okay,
There's obviously those 3
nails
that are holding.
Okay, thank you. That's totally where I was going. I was like, wait a minute, let's peep the the nails. Yeah, they've got the 3 options for nails, and the owner of the house like stipulated like you cannot put holes in the walls, like anything that's there like you can move but you can't put holes in the walls. So they're like, cool. But this beehive, which is very Oddfellows, you know, but I don't know, but it's really sparse and spare and great. I I get why they put the hat box with the ribbons. Like, I understand. I just feel like in most of the book, there's one prop too many. Just one. It's like you know what Coco Chanel said? And Coco Chanel, like, who cares? Although she's awesome, but also like she's a problem. She did say that there's this rule: when you leave the house, as you're leaving the house, take off one accessory that you put on. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty good. Like, if I'm wearing like earrings, well, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but like I have done it in my life before where I was like, do I need the scarf and the necklace? Probably not. And have taken off one accessory before I leave the house. And it's true. And I think perhaps the same thing may apply to props in a quilt style shoot. You know?
Yeah, I do agree. The hat box is superfluous.
You know, yeah.
My real problem is the stuff on the walls. I mean, I think those are fine things on the walls,
right.
but it's the way they're hung.
Tell me,
I think you're absolutely right.
What would
Somebody
you do?
Said
what would you do?
House they used.
Yeah.
You know, I might have like tried to use a string or something to make the horse go lower.
Oh.
Or something, because it looks like a horse is probably on a nail or something. I don't know. It's just it bothers me that they're not straight across, which also would not look good, but that they're just, you know, they're not, the heights are not varied enough.
Yeah. Yep. The math ain't mathin'. I'm with you. Listen, I'm going to do something really quick because we have the time to do this, and I might blow your mind. I might. So what I want to do, I need to buy some time here. Okay. Because I'm doing a thing. So have you ever photographed quilts, Steph? Like, have you ever had to, or out in your yard, or for a show? Yeah.
And it's such a nightmare. And Modern Quilt Guild, I think, and somebody else. There's another quilt organization that's like, this must be this way, and it must be this way, and this way. And it's like, dang, I don't own a quilt photography studio.
Right.
Like, I can only get it outside. Like, yeah, there's probably going to be some greenery in the background, you know. It's difficult. Quilts are really difficult to take pictures of.
They are. Yeah, they definitely are. I'm getting there. I'm getting there on this. It's going to be so worth it. I just ask you to stick around for like 2 seconds because I'm going to get this right.
I would also say, like, as much as like we are, and I think you kind of already alluded to this, as much as we're slamming these pictures, I really feel for the person who had to do this. I mean, you're saying, can't have a bare wall. These are the things we have to choose from. And it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever watched a TV do improv and like they have props, and it's like, you know, they're never going to have the props that they want to make this really funny.
Right.
So they'll pick something and they'll just go with it. And I feel like the people who styled these were just like, oh, for crying out loud, just put the
we got to do something. Exactly. And like anytime the photographer or whatever goes into the quilt folk space, I mean, you're in somebody's space. You got to make it work. Whatever it is that you got to work with, you got to work with it. Okay, I did it. Let me show you what I did. I have, using the most rudimentary technology possible, I have removed the horse from this picture. And we're going to see. We're just going to see if it works, okay? Okay. So here we go. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. Yep. And we're going to refresh that. That's right. Here we go. Okay. I got it. It's the big reveal. It's not that exciting. I mean, it's very exciting, but it's very bad. But we can just see, would it have been better if the horse was not there at all? Because I feel like, I love your idea of using one of the ribbons from the hat box, you know, to like hang the horse. But okay, here we go. One page, current page. Okay, great. Now I'm going to load it up. And we'll see. We'll just see if we like it. Okay. Yep. Quilts are tough. All right. Here we go. Great. Okay. Open. So we've got that, and then, and we've got this. You let me know. It's like some ghostly, it just looks, it doesn't look good. No, because you've got this, you know, two pictures on either side in this bifurcation. It's terrible, but I did do it though. You know, it's terrible.
Now see this white painting that you posted.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, so I think what maybe if they could have centered, like taken that backgammon board and centered it there on that one wall,
Exactly.
I think it might have been okay.
Exactly.
And at the same level as the beehive picture.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I think with taking the horse away and then moving this around a little bit, yeah, it could be better. It could be better. In a portal. It's in a portal. Exactly. Okay. All right. Well, we've had our fun. We've definitely had our fun. Thank you so much, everybody. I mean, what a crack up. We just have our, you know, we just do our stuff here. Part of the reason these book shows are really fun while I'm here is because, yeah, I don't have a printer, so, you know, a lot of the information I share on the show I get from, I don't know, all kinds of different things, and I can use a photocopier or a printer to get the information to read from the thing. Anyway, and so that's difficult here, and so it's pretty cool when I have like actually the text with me. It's not that I'm not saying that this is a. It's always the best show I can give you, right? So I'm not like slumming it or like, I don't know. Anyway, it's a good way to use this particular location, and I have really liked looking at these books last time and this time. There's so much interesting stuff out there, and this is how you really become a real quilt nerd, and you really start to be scary in your levels of knowledge on all this, because when you look at this real deep stuff, this real obscure stuff, and that sticks in your brain, you don't know how much it adds to your general holistic knowledge of all of this. But it's there. Oh yes, it is there. Thanks so much. We'll do a giveaway on Saturday night. I'll be back in Chicago. I'm super excited to get back to the quilt that's in my living room from Harriet. Thank you so much, Harriet. Yeah, just love you all so much. And Cake, thank you so much. And Robin and Susanna. Is she still at Burning Man?
I don't know.
I think so.
I've lost track of the dates on it. So
if Susanna's having a really good time, she's also lost track of the dates. I want that for you, darling.
She did say that she was not going to be posting as many like outward facing pictures, just because she works with people in the Middle East who do not approve of things like wording about
absolutely.
and Burning Man and drinking wildly and eating bacon or whatever she's
doing.
doing.
And burning art, burning large pieces of art, and bacchanalia, basically, Dionysus, right? Well, be safe, whatever you're doing, whether that's Burning Man or just like burning toast. Thank you, everybody. I will see you on Saturday, and I love you so much. And thank you for subscribing to the show and sharing the show with somebody that you think might like it too. Okay, bye-bye.